But first, last night, we played you this disturbing video showing a group of illegal immigrants in Times Square viciously attacking NYPD officers last weekend. Now, the suspects, they were arrested. They were taken to jail. But as per New York law, sadly, they were quickly released due to New York's disastrous no bail laws. And two of the illegals were caught on tape, giving the middle finger as they waltzed out of jail. That was very, very thoughtful of them. Senator Marco Rubio summed it up perfectly in a tweet. He wrote, quote, "Message to America from one of the illegal immigrants who assaulted NYPD officers, walk free with no bail, and heads back to a shelter funded by taxpayers." And now, according to new reports tonight, 4 of the men charged, they've now successfully fled to Gavin Newsom's sanctuary state of California. Good luck getting them back to New York for their court date. Earlier today, New York Governor Kathy Hochul, she was asked about the suspects. She offered this response. Take a look.
Any response to police searching for additional suspects in the Times Square attack on police?
Get them all and send them back.
All right, let's go.
You don't touch our police officers. You don't touch anybody.
Wow. All of a sudden, a change of heart from, New York Governor Hochul. After all, it was her policies that helped lead to the vicious attacks. And by the way, let's take a little trip down memory lane. You might remember when she said this kind of thing. Take a look.
We want people to come here, despite where they came from or despite the circumstances that drove them to this country and to this state. We say you are welcome here. We are welcome with open arms, and we'll work to keep you safe. We'll not only house you, but we'll protect you.
Oh, they were welcome until they got the bill and the 3- and 4-star hotel rooms that they were given to illegal immigrants in New York City. All right, this Biden-made crisis, it needs to end right now. Illegal immigrants, they're just pouring into this country. They're coming from these countries. We keep reminding you, Iran, Syria, Afghanistan, China, Russia, some of our top adversaries. But now we also have top retired FBI officials warning Congress of the danger, calling this an invasion of military-age men. And just today, ICE officials announcing that they captured a known terrorist who illegally entered the country back in March of 2023. And it gets worse. According to a new report in the Washington Examiner, a watchdog investigation found that your tax dollars, they're being funneled directly to illegal immigrants. According to the report, illegal immigrants coming to the southern border, they have received over $1 billion in money cards, envelopes of cash, and other benefits, all paid for by you, the taxpayer. Not only is Joe aiding and abetting in the law-breaking, he's now using your money to pay illegals to break the law. So what's Biden's big solution? Well, he says he needs Congress to help him secure the border. No, that's another lie. He said he's done everything he can. No, Joe is lying. He doesn't need Congress at all. Joe can simply reinstate all of the Trump-era policies that were working. We had the most secure border in history, and he can do it with the stroke of a pen just as quickly as he undid them with a stroke of the pen. And by the way, some members of Congress didn't exactly inspire confidence with their votes today. Look at this. In the House of Representatives, they passed a bill to deport illegal immigrants found guilty of drunk driving. But 150 Democrats voted against the bill. Why would anybody be against this? This is the radical extreme, new Green Deal, climate alarmist, religious cult Democratic Party of today. This is a clear and present danger to the entire country. And even worse, radical squad members like Cori Bush and Congresswoman Tlaib, they voted against the bill, banning Hamas terrorists from the U.S. You can't make up this insanity. Now, the legislation says that no person who, quote, participated in, planned, financed, afforded material support to or otherwise facilitated the October 7th Hamas terrorist attacks on Israel or attacks after that shall be ineligible for any relief under the immigration laws. How did Democrats, 150 of them, justify allowing even known terrorists into the country? They have lost their minds. And while Democrats refuse to do anything to secure the borders, well, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he's taking the necessary action. By the way, with the help of 25 Republican governors around the country who deserve a lot of credit. But he is refusing to cut down the razor wire. He's leaving the Texas National Guard in place in Eagle Pass. He has the support of nearly every Republican governor across the country, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who today announced he is sending his state's National Guard to help and assist what he is calling an invasion. Take a look.
So today, we are going to fortify our presence along the southern border. We're providing up to 1 battalion of Florida National Guard, as well as our first ever deployment of the Florida State Guard. And the goal is to help Texas fortify this border, help them strengthen the barricades, help them add barriers, help them add the wire that they need to so that we can stop this invasion once and for all.
By the way, Governor DeSantis will join us in a few minutes. But first, our very own Bill Malugin. He is reporting that there has been a significant shift in illegals entering Texas, with more than 70% of the border crossings of illegal immigrants in the last week of January taking place in Arizona and California, not Texas. Maybe Governor Abbott chased them away. Anyway, Bill Malugin joins us now with the full report tonight. Bill.
Hey, Sean, well, we got some new data we've gotten from CBP sources that shows illegal crossings in Texas have just plummeted in recent weeks. And now a large majority of the traffic is moving to Arizona and right here to California. So let's dive into these numbers here. Take a look. CBP sources telling me in the last week of January, there were more than 32,800 Border Patrol apprehensions of illegal immigrants across the southern border. About 23,500 of those were in Arizona and California. That is 71% of the crossings in the last week. So why is this happening? Well, Texas's Del Rio sector, which includes Eagle Pass, was seeing massive illegal crossings back in December, some days with 3,000 or 4,000 in a single day. We all remember this viral video just showing how bad it was there. Well, since then, Mexico has started increasing enforcement on their side of the border. This was after a late December meeting with U.S. cabinet officials. And Texas, as we've been reporting, has locked down their side of the border. They've taken over Shelby Park and Eagle Pass. They've kicked the feds out, and they've been fortifying the area with legions of razor wire soldiers and troopers. And we'll talk about the impact enforcement has had on both sides of the border. Look at these numbers. According to CBP sources, Border Patrol apprehended over 71,000 illegal immigrants in that Del Rio sector in December. Well, that number dropped to just under 17,000 in January. That is a 76% decrease in a single month.
It's great to see the result where we're seeing the numbers that have now plummeted. I think we're now down to like 200 a day rather than the thousands that we've seen sitting there in Eagle Pass. Now you're seeing the numbers move to California.
And Sean, you mentioned earlier, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced today he is sending hundreds of Florida National Guard soldiers and Florida State Guard to Texas to continue to help the state. It was actually Florida Governor DeSantis who was the first governor back in 2021 who sent state troopers to Texas, where they've been assisting Texas DPS and the National Guard in making apprehensions of illegal immigrants. We'll send it back to you.
Bill, do you have any update on Joe Biden's Friday deadline? Remember, he had a deadline Friday that the CBP would have the right to cut down the razor wire. Interestingly, they came out with statements. Their union came out with statements saying they have no intention of cutting down that razor wire. They pretty much voiced their support for everything the Texas National Guard has been doing. There have been a lot of Democrats wanting Joe Biden to federalize the Texas Guard. Any updates, or is Joe going to just let that deadline come and go like most deadlines?
The feds backed down. They blinked. They gave them a Friday deadline. Texas basically laughed at them, said, nope, we're not doing it. And Attorney General Ken Paxton actually sent a letter to the feds basically saying your request is denied. So no, Texas did not give in.
All right, Bill Malugin, great work at the border. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.